Playback ending in 5.
Stand by fake music, stand by talent.
3, 2, 1. Clear.
Music go. Talent go.
Welcome to Event Yak, where event pros share their stories about the past, present, and future. I'm your host, Terri Walters. The blank page is always scary. Overwhelming, really. And this, my friends, this is a blank page for me. Let me start out by saying, this is not the podcast I wanted to produce, but instead, the podcast I needed to produce. The one I wanted to produce is about beer. And that may still come. It will come. It's just not going to happen right now. Soon, though. This is a podcast where I'm going to talk to event and show people about what they do and how they do it and why they do it. And truthfully, when the podcast idea began swirling around in my head a few years back, I'm on the 5-year plan here, I thought about talking to my friends in the events biz. It's my world and my people, but truthfully, beer just sounded a little better to me. But here we are, this podcast, Event Yak, where it's kind of off the rails a little bit, is it's going to begin smack in the middle of one of the biggest healthcare and financial crises in our lifetimes. Maybe, after all is said and done, the biggest one in history. So, why launch? And why launch now? Other than Terri seems to embrace adversity. Well, I felt like I had to. I felt and feel a little helpless. I feel like I have a lot of time. I feel damaged. And I feel like I need to do something. I feel like there might be a void right now for event pros. And I'm hoping that with the help of others, as I blast off into this thing, I can help fill that void. There are a lot of confused and lost people right now everywhere, but specifically in production and the show and events business. We run the gamut: producers, editors, app designers, audio engineers, lighting directors, stage managers, gear rental people, crewing companies, musicians, entertainers, actors, registration folks, exhibition folks, carpenters, caterers, security, floral, event planners, furniture rental, ticket sales, concessions, giveaways. There's so many people that touch the live event genre, I guess. A lot of them who are part of the gig economy, but some are not. Some have staff jobs, but they're still feeling a hit as well. Overall, we have a lot in common right now. No work, no money coming in, and we feel like there's no support and no understanding, or very little. And we may feel like maybe just a little, there's not a lot of hope. We don't know when this is going to end. And when it does, how do we rebound? How do we restart once the darkness passes? You know, we've all spent a lot of time cultivating and creating our, and like crafting our businesses and our lives. And now we're stalled indefinitely. So it's a little scary. So let's shift gears. You know, I don't want this to be a doom and gloom thing. God knows the media does a good enough job with that. So that's not my purpose. I'm not here to paint a picture of doom and gloom. On the contrary, I want this to be a resource and maybe some entertainment and a distraction, maybe a job-related distraction. But, you know, our jobs, a lot of us, our jobs is, you know, a big part of our lives. And more bigly, maybe a beacon of hope and an exchange of ideas and some support for you. This industry is a strong industry, both physically and mentally. Now, I know personally riggers who would throw their bodies across an open manhole if it meant it could help make the show just a little bit better. And I know, planners that can take the most chaotic nightmares and make them sing along like a bullet train. And producers who are so creative that they can create outlandishly awesome and off the wall, in a good way, experiences that go way beyond their clients' wildest dreams. And we all know tech crews who will work all day, all night, and all day again to make an event great and a grateful client happy. We can do this. And for a lot of us, this is not our first rodeo. Let's take a quick second. We'll look back. This is not the first time we've faced adversity. For those of you who can remember 1987, the Dow had a huge drop. They called it Black Friday or Black Monday. That was a big thing. I was starting right in the beginning of my career, and I was starting a job then. It didn't really impact me then. I was right in the beginning. Didn't have a lot to lose. Didn't really impact me, I thought. And then along comes 1997, and Moonfish Production launched. And you haven't heard of Moonfish? Well, neither have a lot of people. It's my company. I launched my company in 1997, my production company, when I left a staff job, the safety and security of a staff job. But so 1997, that means I've been doing this stuff for a while. So again, this is not my first rodeo. So 97 happens, launch, company. 2000 comes along, tech wreck. A lot of speculation in the dot-coms. My dad calls them the dot-coms. So there was a big crash there. A lot of companies making nothing and being valued at a whole lot of money. So that didn't last very long. Go into 2001, the next year, 9/11. Everybody knows what happens with that. Worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil, caused a panic. The events industry took a hit. 2003, that was just a glimpse of what we're looking at now. SARS came on the horizon, and a couple of my events canceled that year. Nothing like this year. 2008, the housing crash, subprime mortgages, big recession. Some people say recession, some people say not. And then 2020, COVID-19, stocks crash, the economy shuts down. Within 2 weeks, my entire spring calendar completely evaporated. Nothing. All right. So that's kind of where I think a lot of people are at. This thing, though, this COVID-19 is a little weird and a little different because not only does it impact our financial survival, but also our physical survival, the survival, of our kids and ourselves and our way of life. I think things are going to change for everyone after this, but hopefully for the positive. But each one of these events that I just mentioned, there's an ebb and flow to life. It impacted the events and production industries in pretty extreme ways. There was a lot of negative. Each time we came to a screeching halt, and each time we restarted. And I don't say this stuff or go over this stuff or, take a, walk down memory lane here to shake us up or to paint a grim picture. I list it because I know we are strong and I know we're all resilient. I know there are people out there who are going to have to work hard to make it back again because we have to. We have to. Really, this is the stuff we're good at. Taking chaos and creating order. If we're all honest, we love that stuff. Otherwise, we would not be in this business. We live and breathe this. As crazy as it gets. Shows and events. It's the stuff we need for our soul. So, it's not going to come back easy. It's not going to come back fast. But it will come back. And we need to be ready as a group and as individuals. And we need to use this opportunity in a positive way. So, we need to hang on, continue to hone our individual crafts, but also stay connected and talk to each other. Help each other. Call your friends. Call your family. Check in. Use technology. Help your clients use technology. Learn some stuff. Take the time to actually learn something as we're all socially distanced. Socially distanced. That'll be a new word in the dictionary next year. Something we never heard of, but something that's on the tip of everybody's tongue right now. So this podcast thing is not going to be just me blathering on. That's just this episode. This is my setup. I'm going to interview a bunch of people, event and production pros, from all over the whole spectrum. We've all got a lot of time on our hands right now, so I'm optimistic and I'm hoping for the best and hoping people will say yes when I call them to talk. And again, I don't want to be Debbie Downer or Dr. Doom and Gloom. I think COVID is a big part of all of us right now, and there are some specific topics related to it. And I think this can be an outlet and a resource for folks both giving and seeking information. But I think in addition to that, there are a lot of evolving topics and important opinions to be discussed and shared. Everyone has a story, or if I know you all like I do, multiple stories about their show life. And I want to dig it all up and talk about it. If not for anything else, but for a couple of laughs and to learn something about each other. I think the place where we are has shown us that we need to be a more cohesive group. We need some ways to communicate and support each other. We all live in our separate little silos. That's a buzzword, silos, and I think every time I use a buzzword, we should all take a drink of whatever we're drinking. I'm recording here in the morning, so I'll drink tea. If I were recording in the afternoon, it may be something a little stronger. But so that's going to be the thing. If I say a buzzword, we should all take a drink. But we live in our separate silos. The techie silo, the planner silo, the trades show silo, the carpenters, the agencies. We all come together for other people's goals. But I think we need a forum to come together for each other. And maybe this show can be that. It can be a beginning for that. Like the list that I referred to before of the years with the events. There's downs and there are ups. We can't come out of this and not have learned anything or have created something good for ourselves. So, as it relates to right now and launching, I'm hoping I can keep this thing going for a long time and it can be a resource. But during this COVID crisis, at least, I want to see how folks are weathering the storm and what their thoughts are for the current landscape and what their plans are for the future. I know that some of us feel alone, but I have a feeling really we're not alone in our feelings or our situation. I think we all need to hear and tell our stories. There is strength in numbers, and as the motto goes, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Also, selfishly, I know a lot of people, and I'm worried about them. I'm a technical producer and a show caller. So my friends and coworkers span a lot of diverse and different verticals. Verticals, another buzzword. Drink up. I work with a lot of different people. This show, this podcast, will give me at least an excuse to reach out and touch base and yak with them for a little while. It'll help me as much as I hope it helps you. So please give me a chance. Please listen. Please share. Please subscribe. This is my first podcast. Be patient with me. I hope I can contribute constructively to our community, and feel free to share and connect with me, please. I can't help feeling that this was something I was meant to do. Podcasting in general, but this one at this particular time I think is extremely important. Please, everybody, be safe, be healthy, and stand by to stand by.
But I